Weekend nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ices on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by Priority Lawn and Landscaping. It hailed earlier today, but the grass will start growing. You will want to get your mulch bed done, the leaves cleaned out of there, flowers planted, shrubs done. Any kind of landscaping project you want to get done, give Priority Lawn and Landscaping a call at 513-430 or 513-430-6114 as I completely screw up the phone number. Again, it's 513-430-6114. They're also on Facebook, so make sure you guys check them out. Priority Lawn and Landscaping. What is up to everybody in the chat? We've got the usuals in there. Brad's in there, Paul Painter's in there, and strangers in there. What's going on, guys? All right, it is opening day of the NFL Draft Combine. I'm very excited for guys like Jared, who's going to be on. It's like Christmas to him. And I know he's just foaming at the mouth to get in here. But what does this mean? This means testing to verify what they see on tape. So that's basically what they're trying to do. So you saw on tape, you're trying to see if that computes to the numbers on the field. If they can do it with shorts and underwear on. Anyway, the Bengals, now what I think the Bengals will be looking for, we'll talk about with Jared here, are mostly going to be looking for defensive line, guards, tight ends, safeties, and maybe cornerbacks. Maybe cornerbacks. But I think that all positions are up on the table for the Bengals to look at. Anyway, enough of me jibber-jabbing around. Let's get to the guy who really knows what the hell he's talking about. He's none other than Draft Guy Jared!
What's up?
What's going on, brother?
Yo, I am floored by the intro song. I did not know the what I was getting into today with the intro song. My goodness.
Yeah.
That was epic.
Yeah, I changed it up a little bit. It's a little different since the last time you were on.
Yeah.
Hey, it's amazing what AI can do. I'll just put it that way.
I was wondering. I was like, is this an AI song?
Yeah,
yeah. It's got all the things, man.
I couldn't just say it's me singing, but
you should.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I wrote that.
I sang enough on the show, people know that's not me. So, all right, let's go. Hey, this is, like I said, this is like Christmas for you, right? This is
absolutely my favorite time of year.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, and we're getting into the defensive line first, and that's all Bengals fans, and I think it's no secret. That's what we need to draft. Hopefully, at least two of them that can be impact players. I know everybody keeps saying Nolan. It's guaranteed locked. He's going to be at 17. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it's a draft. You never know what's going to happen. What's your thoughts on the defensive line in general and Bengals at 17?
Yeah, this defensive line class is awesome because Just overall from the draft class, I would say it's a fairly trench heavy, like starter level player class.
Right.
And then there's like superstars at not valuable positions that are probably going to be like the running backs, the safeties, tight ends. Like there's going to be some guys in this class that just turn into superstars, in my opinion. But like I said, they're not at valuable positions. And then like when you get into the meat and potatoes, you get into the trenches of this draft, there's a lot of talented, useful players deep into early day 3. So just this defensive line class is overwhelming with the amount of talent in it.
Now, the one that I keep hearing is Nolan out of Ole Miss. The one I'm kind of leaning more toward is because he's people are comparing him to Micah Parsons. Is a kid out of Texas A&M. Is that am I getting the right school there, or is it Texas?
I don't know which one you're talking about, because my top 5 would be you have Mason Graham from Michigan, Kenneth Grant from Michigan, then you have Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon, and in my opinion, Tyleek Williams is also in that group.
Okay.
And then there's like a step below that. You have TJ Sanders, who could sneak into the first round. Darius Alexander from Toledo. I could list you. I've watched like 28 of these defensive line prospects, and I would venture to say probably 18 of them have, like I've said earlier, like at least an early day 3 grade on them.
How do you have time to do that?
While my wife watches The Real Housewives of whatever she's doing, I just sit there and watch game film.
That's cool. So, do any of those guys? Because the Bengals always want the tallest guys and the biggest guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do those guys all fit into the Bengals criteria, or do you think this might be the year the Bengals do go away from that?
Well, I think the combination of being the defensive tackle group in particular, the fact that there is so much depth to this class, I think the closer we get to the draft, the less and less likely it is the Bengals pick a defensive tackle in the opening round of the draft, because they could do it like throughout the draft. They only have 6 picks, but you're talking you could get quality in rounds 2, 3, and 4. And you could even double up in there if you miss out on one of these top guys. If I were Duke Tobin and I were making the selection at 17 and I was going to pick a defensive tackle, it wouldn't be Walter Nolan. It would be Kenneth Grant.
Okay. Now, all right, let's just go dive into this. If the Bengals do, which what you're saying makes sense. Which us Bengals fans always have PTSD because they got to hit on them.
Yeah.
And the second round is there's just going to be good guys there, but not as good as the first round. Now, with that being said, if they don't draft a defensive lineman in the first round, I love the tight end out of Penn State. I don't think he's going to be there at 17. That would be awesome. But who do you think might be there at 17 that would be worth drafting other than a defensive guy that possibly could be there?
Well, I think another thing about this draft is a lot of people have anywhere between 10 and 16 first round grades. And if those players end up shaking out to be mostly trench players, which it's likely. I mean, you're looking at some high quality tackles at the top end of the draft. You're looking at high quality defensive linemen like we've been talking about. There's a really good chance the Bengals could get lucky and have one of the best players fall into their lap at 17. Just because the positional value isn't there, just like you're saying with Tyler Warren. I think especially because he's not an older prospect. He's only 22, but people will see that and be like, well, he didn't break out till his final year of college, but that's just a Penn State thing. They always have good tight ends.
Yeah, they're aren't they? I know they're linebacker you, but sometimes they're tight end you too.
You alluded to it earlier too. Like cornerback is a position that's lost its value over time, and you have, I think, like Daniel Jeremiah and Dane Brugler both have 3 cornerbacks in their top 20s. You're looking at Travis Hunter, who we're not going to. There's no chance.
If he was there, I'd run to the board to go get him.
But Will Johnson from Michigan has been scrutinized this whole process, and you see him sliding down boards. And Jahdae Barron from Texas is another guy that seems to be climbing up boards, and he's more of a nickel player, and we're kind of expecting Mike Hilton to leave. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals jumped on a player like that they feel like is maybe a top 10 talent, but slid to them in 17 because other more premium positions have been prioritized before him.
Now, I know one thing, they need to get it right. Whoever they draft at 17 has got to be a plug-in and play player. We can't
agree with that.
We can't have Miles Murphy and Daxio. Those, and I think Daxio is going to be a fine cornerback, but he wasn't a plug and play safety. It didn't really work out safety. Miles Murphy, it is what it is. I still think Miles can get better. Given the right opportunity with the Bengals, hopefully. But we need a guy we need instant impact, and we need instant impact, especially on the defense side throughout this draft. I mean, they only got 6 picks. They got to hit on these things. So, what would your draft strategy be for if you were the GM for the Bengals going throughout this draft? How would you go about doing it?
I think Duke has always kind of talked about lumping players in buckets.
Yep.
And the buckets are arranged. So, say we were talking about earlier, they have a player that's in a top 10 bucket that slides to them. And it's at a position of need, but it's not a valuable position. Right. I think that person would be the draft pick.
Okay.
I think if they went through this entire offseason and they're like, man, all we need is an RB2, and Ashton Genty was sitting there at 17, right. Why wouldn't you pull the trigger on that?
Now, see, all right, I have a question because my guy Joe, who comes on the show with me sometimes, and he meant this the other day at the show, and I didn't get a chance to combat him with it. When he thought it was terrible that the Falcons drafted Bijan Robinson in the first round. Bijan Robinson at the time, and he's still really good, was one of the top running back prospects to come out in years. Kind of just like Genty is. We saw what Saquon Barkley do. To me, I still believe there are certain running backs that are worth taking that first round pick on because they're once in a generational players that they can really change your offense.
Yeah, the one I'd really look at, if Travion Henderson falls to 49, I feel like the Bengals would have a hard conversation about drafting him because he is everything that they want in a running back in their offense. He's an excellent pass protector. He's great out of the backfield. He's got home run ability from gun runs and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they're super high on a Travion Henderson or a Dylan Sampson, somebody and we've seen them take the second round high impact running backs and play them and have them have good rookie seasons before. It's a very Bengals thing to do.
Exactly. M here says, would you be okay with Tyler Warner or Loveland in round 1?
I'm all about Tyler Warren because he can block. He's absolutely a monster after the catch. I haven't watched as much Colston Loveland. I haven't really had a whole lot of reason to watch Michigan's offense this year, and I've kind of avoided it like the plague. So I know from last year he was pretty exciting, but I haven't seen how much he's grown or anything. So to me, and I don't evaluate fully tight ends. For the most part, a position, I'm not talking about trenches. They are, from me watching an absurd amount of college football, both film and on Saturdays in the fall. So
there you go. All right, Josh Lyles, my boy here from Houday Nation. And this is a good question. I was going to bring this up too. Do you think Abdul Carter drops with all the recent injury info, which it's a foot injury? That's a pretty big deal. I mean,
NFL hates foot injuries. Yes. That's how Johnny Newton fell out of the first round last year. If he falls past 5, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I think he's going to. I don't think he's be number 1 overall now. That's just too your foot. If you start messing with your foot, and that's your base. That's you do everything. And I was listening to radio this morning. They had a doctor on there, and his suggestion was, don't do surgery on your foot unless you absolutely have to. He said, try to let it heal first, is what his I guess
That's what I think. That's what he's ended up doing. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna let it heal and then run at a pro day or something.
And hopefully, and the thing is, if he heals up and he can run to the pro day and he seems to be fine, then he can jump back up there. But we'll have to see how the foot injury is. But that is a very interesting. But if he dropped to 17, I'd take him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's
Run that card in.
Exactly. All right, stranger here. None of day one or day two running backs are good pass blockers. If we don't draft one, who can we block? Or who can block? We go back to tipping our hands like Taj Brooks in the 5th round, 230 thumper.
I haven't watched any Texas Tech yet. I know who Taj Brooks is, but I have they have 2 linemen I need to watch. I'll get there to them. It was just more of a hyperbolic statement. I would hope they wouldn't draft Ashton Genty with all of the other needs and stuff. But
it'd be hard
I'm just
not
saying,
to, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying if they have like just say like a really stupid grade on like a Omarion Hampton who Mel Kiper had, and they think he falls to them, like I think the 1st round's a very open proposition.
All right,
I think they'll do enough in free agency to take the best player available.
Yeah, that's where I say this all the time this time of year. I don't really. I mean, I do mock drafts. I don't really put anything out there until after free agency because that's to me. Then you have a better idea what is going on here.
I just do it for like scenarios. Like this could happen.
This could,
like,
right? All right. Augie here wants to know, but he asked about J.J. Watt. Do we think he'll actually come out of retirement? All right, I'll put it to you this way, Augie. I saw an interview with him on the Dan Patrick Show, and he said yes, if the goalkeeper goes clean sheet all the way through, yes, he come. He goes, but I have no idea if the Bengals even want me. I haven't even talked to him, so we'll see.
I think they would make something happen.
They might, yeah, they might get it back there.
I think JJ's a man of his word.
Yeah, that's well, it was tongue in cheek. I mean, the guy's setting records. Nobody's ever.
The goalkeeper's going off.
Yeah, it's something that's never happened.
He must football. Really want JJ to play for the Bengals.
Yeah, he's a big Bengals fan apparently. All right, Josh here says, should we sign Najee Harris?
No, get out of here.
Pretty quick.
No, Najee, get out of here.
All right, let's see here. M, with there being limited true running talent, would you move up or move back to get more picks in this draft? Me personally, I'm moving back. But.
Yeah, Duke is trying like hell right now to get as many picks as possible. The fact that they only have 6 is such an issue to have because not only are they missing out on draft picks right now, they are missing out on vets on like 1-year deals and stuff that can come and make an impact right now. They can't trade away anything, and they have like Jonathan Allen and Davin Godchaux on the trade block that they could trade for now and have like a good, solid starting defensive tackle, but they can't give away any draft picks.
Yeah, exactly. That's like last year we had all kinds of draft picks. This year we only got 6. So and with our lack of hitting the draft, I want to get more draft picks. I want more swings at the bat here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had Kent Lee Platt on here, Math Bomb. He does Raz. And I didn't know this, but the Bengals apparently don't believe in the Raz. They don't they don't draft guys.
It's not a tool they utilize.
Hopefully, what's your thoughts on the Raz? I mean, is it a tool that they should use? I think they should.
It's definitely a good frame of reference, especially for like overall NFL athleticism. Like, it's a good way to kind of gauge how athletic your opponent is, and how more athletic you can be. Mm-hmm. In certain positions. I don't think they use Raz as like I think they use all of the numbers and stuff, but they don't. They have their own version of Raz.
Yeah. Well, it's like analytics in baseball, which I'm not a big analytics guy, but I do think you should use it. But you have to also use stuff you always use. That's the same thing with Raz. You should use it. It shouldn't set the be all end all, but you should use it and utilize it. Because, the guys who honestly, like Kent was saying yesterday, the guys who rate very high in the Rams are usually pretty damn athletic, and they usually have pretty good NFL career. So
Yeah.
that's pretty. The numbers are there. You should probably check it out here.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan Sparks here. Should we draft Marcus Warner?
Marcus Ware from
Ware, sorry.
Montana State. Yeah. I don't think he doesn't seem like a Scott Peters guy. He's got short arms. He's from a small school. He does have tackle guard versatility, which is good, but I think Peters likes big dudes.
Right.
I think part of the reason they hired him is because he was like, I like big guys.
We got a ginormous offensive line
Right.
already, so we need. I really. Do you think they will draft? I think they'll draft the guard, but it's gonna be later on down in the draft because I think they're at least going to sign one guard. I'm hoping they sign 2 guards in free agency, but I think they will draft one because you got to draft one, right, for future.
Yeah,
for depth anyway.
Yeah, I think they're going to sign 2 vets. I think they're going to sign 2 new starters at guard, and they'll probably re-sign Cody Ford as well.
I think they will too.
And then I really hope they spend a better draft pick that anything from to me, it's a wasted draft pick if they're not in this particular draft, if they're not drafting anybody before round 5. Like if they draft a lineman in 5 or 6, I don't think it'll be a good investment.
They won't be worth drafting then, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
there's a very steep cliff in this draft with the guards, and it is like there might be some stragglers in round 4.
Yeah.
That
they'll
have
the thing.
a
It's
shot
like,
at.
And that's the other thing I go back to what you said is if one of these skill players dropped to them at 17, where they could take that skill player and then draft defense on down the line. But what I really hope they do, I would love it if the first 3 picks are freaking trenches, defensive line.
Yeah.
Bam. That's and I'm praying to God that all 3 of them they hit all 3 of them because Jared, if you hit on 3 guys and they're all impact guys, your defensive line is fixed. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Now you got to get it right.
Yeah, if we're talking value, I think the first round should really if we're talking just solely trenches, the value in the first round is in the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should get a starting level guard in the first round because after that, like you're talking about backups anyway in this class. So like if you can get a Tyler Booker or a Gray Zabel or, one of these Armand Membu or somebody at 17 that can fill one of these guard spots immediately, go ahead and get one of those guys because day 2 is going to be full of defensive line guys still.
I think Houday Nation will be okay with that if they got a guard. I don't think they'd freak out about that.
You're spending your premium draft capital on protecting Joe Burrow. Yeah. Brilliant. Everybody loves that.
Right.
Keep doing that. You know what? Every first round pick lineman. We're just going to keep doing that forever.
Right. Exactly. Let's see here. Where was it at? Here it is. M here. If Nolan or Kenneth are on the board, who are you thinking?
I love Kenneth Grant. I think Kenneth Grant, I haven't said it out loud, but he's the closest thing we've seen to Dexter Lawrence coming out of the draft in a very long time.
Ooh, that's big right there.
Yeah,
you think he's that?
He's
you're
big.
High on him, okay?
Yeah,
cool.
He's big. He's agile. He can absolutely gobble up runs, and I think he's got pass rush juice. I think a lot of people are sleeping on his pass rush juice.
So you think him and Chris Jenkins will be getting reunited?
Oh yeah, I think it would be awesome. And then you could get another guy in the 4th round, 3rd or 4th round that's like a designated pass rusher, whatever. Designated pass rusher from the interior, and you have a defensive line for the next 4 years.
Oh, dude, I'm getting goosebumps just listening to you. That would be, oh my God. Because the whole thing, this whole season, I kept saying, like, if we just had a consistent pass rush, we would have won more of these daggone games. And the other thing, too, is 2 things to me we got to improve. Obviously, the defense and the pass rush. The other thing is the running game. And to me, that's the guards. The interior line has got to get better because these games that we had the lead in and couldn't hold on to it, if we had a consistent running game, just hand the ball off and run it, they're not getting the ball back. And that's what a pitcher said the other day when he's at the combine is they're not, and I've said this many times, we're never going to be known as a running team, but we need to be able to be a consistent running, just when we want to run the ball, we can run the ball. When we need to. That's what they want to do, and that's what I think they're trying to do.
It's been the most frustrating part because, especially this past year when Chase Brown you can tell he's figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And just give that dude a crease.
Yeah.
Give him a lane to run through, man, and nobody's catching him. Just give him a small little sliver, and he is a home run threat every time. I am 100% with you. If we could get some athletic guards, that would be incredible.
Yeah, that's what I those are, like I said, for me, it's all trenches. I want guards. I want defensive linemen. Now, with that being said, the safety position, Stone, I don't know if they're going to keep him or not. I think it sounds like they might be leaning toward keeping him. But I'm going to get the kid's name, the safety from Notre Dame, that
Xavier Watts.
Xavier Watts. Where do you think he's going? Where is he? First, second round?
He's going in that dead zone between 17 and 49. He's going somewhere in there. He's not going to make it to 49, in my opinion.
Okay. So I guess so that kind of answers my question for you. If he's there, do you think they draft him?
Yeah, I think they would. I think they're hoping for. They talked last year about sweating out the Chris Jenkins pick because they watched 5 or 6 defensive tackles go before him. Right. I think they would be doing the same thing for Watts.
Yeah. So it's that's the one that I kind of have my eye on of where he is because, and that'd be interesting. Now, if they do draft him, I think he's a plug and play safety, especially with Al Golden already, being his defense coach in college. If they do that, what do you think that does to Stone? Does that make him expendable, or would we try to run a three safety defense, or how do you think they might do that?
If they got Watts, I think they'd probably be more willing to move on from Stone. I know they'll save some cap and stuff. I would imagine they'd try to shop him though.
That's what I would think they'd try to move on because they said Battle's going to be the other safety, which he should have been halfway through the season last year, but let's see here. Did I ask you this one already? You think Kyle Hamilton has potential?
No, I don't think Watts has the same kind of range as Hamilton. I think he's a bit more limited, and he's definitely nowhere near as big.
Yeah. All right, so we'll talk about running backs. Let's talk a little bit about corners here. And I like I said, there are guys that if they're there in the first round that drop. That's one of the ones where if these guys drop, the Bengals could take them. Mm-hmm. If they don't do that, do you see them drafting one later on down or where?
No, I think corner's one of those things where the value would just have to be punching them directly in the face. I think if they were looking at a Will Johnson. Or maybe they're pretty high on Jahdae Barron. If either of those guys are at 17, they'll probably think about it. But I think they like the guys they have, and I think they want to see them with Al Golden before they make too many decisions and changes in that room. Because those guys have been together for the past couple of years, minus Geno Stone. I think they kind of want to see some more return from that investment.
Right. I got you. I agree with you because I don't. I really believe in Dax Hill, and I like what I saw last year until he got hurt. And I just think Cam Taylor-Britt that was a bad year. He started to turn around. I think he's going to come back. Mm-hmm. I don't know if either one were number ones, but they're serviceable. And like I said, I keep saying if you get enough pressure on the quarterback, it's not going to matter as much. Now, all right, Kenneth Grant. Now I've heard the name and everything, and like I said, I don't watch all this stuff as much as you do. Is he interior? Is he edge? Where is he at?
Oh, he's interior. He's 6'3", 330 pounds. He's a big boy.
All right, so is he a three tech guy? Is that what we're talking about here?
He's a nose. He played a lot of three tech last year in 23. He played a lot more nose this year, and that's another reason you probably didn't see as much production. Okay.
Now, are there three techs in this draft that are worth taking at 17 or 49? That I'm sure there are, but what you would want to take there?
Nolan and Harmon, Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. I think he's got some pass rush shoes. There's still some floating character stuff out there. I'm not 100% on that. I don't know if if that's gonna stop the Bengals either. We've seen them take character.
Lately, up until last year, it had. They've been trying to do it on character guys. So
yeah, but Derek Harmon from Oregon. He's pretty interesting to me. He's definitely like an upfield kind of penetrating, very in that Larry Ogunjobi. He's just got more size than Larry O did. Like, but he's that kind of player. He could definitely cause some disruption, cause some pressure and stuff. I think he'd be a pretty solid investment.
Now, what's your thoughts on McKinley Jackson? I know that we are drafting him last year, but I was actually for a 6th-round pick, which we drafted probably a round earlier than he probably should have been. I was actually kind of impressed with it. I think he could be a good rotational piece. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I thought his tape from A&M translated exactly like you thought it would to Cincinnati. I had a early day 3, late day 2 grade on him, so I didn't think it was too much of a reach.
Oh, okay, good.
He's got some pop to him. Like, he's still got the juice. I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting both him and Chris Jenkins started last season injured. Like, like Chris Jenkins had a broken hand. That is a tough gig.
Yeah, McKinley Jackson, I think he practiced I think it was minicamp he hurt himself. Your minicamp or first day of training camp. He had no training camp at all.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing we can take away from them is they improved throughout the season with reps, which is what you need to see. And that's all you can ask from rookies. The problem is they didn't have the same kind of vets around them to kind of supplement them, give them rest, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the Bengals could keep B.J. Hill and add either Nolan or Grant there, that makes that interior pretty stout there. I think. And then if you get,
they're moving on from B.J. Hill. I don't think he's guaranteed he's gonna stick around.
So then that means Jenkins and McKinley would get more snaps. All right. So let's say they take Grant at 17. If it's me, I want an edge at 49. Who would be there at 49 that we might want to keep our eye on?
The one I've really kind of been thinking about a lot lately is Princely Umanmielen from Ole Miss. He's a bit leaner. He's long. He's got a tremendous burst. He's got some bend to him. He's definitely different from anybody they've had recently, and I think it'd be a good change up to Trey Hendrickson. And I also love JT Tuimoloau from Ohio State. I think he's an incredible football player. He's been higher than Jack Sawyer on the entire process.
I fell in love with him 2 years ago. I fell in love with that dude 2 years ago.
He's a baller.
He's a baller.
He does everything right. Like, he's one of those guys you can just plug and play and trust for a while. If they pick JTT in the 2nd round, I'd be ecstatic.
All right, let's go with this one. I'm just throwing out these scenarios for you here because you're getting my juices flowing. All right, let's say that they draft a plug and play guard at 17, and then they go with one of the guys you just said in the 2nd round. So that's an edge, which I actually hope. I'll put it this way: if they draft a guard first, do you think they still go with an edge 2nd round, or do you think they might go? Who would be higher? There'd be more interior guys there.
I think So getting back to our scenario, the value would be best for edge players there in the 2nd, because you're probably looking at Princely, you're looking at JTT, you're looking at Landon Jackson from Arkansas, who I know they'll be high on because he has all of the size that they like. Hold on, let me pull up. You're probably also looking at Jack Sawyer, Jared Ivey. Those are just a couple of guys they could be looking at in the 2nd round. So I'm pretty. There's a big group there in the 2nd round.
All right, big group there. From. All right, so we'll just say we go with guard in the 1st round, and then JTT, who I would love. That's a guy I just like. Get him in the 2nd round. So 3rd round, where's the value there? It's just going with defensive line. Is it? Interior,
it's the it's the interior. You're looking at, especially because before we came on here, one of my favorite interior guys was putting on a show at the combine.
CJ watch it yet.
CJ West, he is out there balling. He's one of my favorite, and he's really. I've had a 3rd round grade on him, and he's kind of solidifying that right now. He's one of my favorite. He's more of a run plugger right now, but I think he's showing he's got
we need run stoppers.
Yeah. Right. Who I was just going to say, Aeneas Peebles, who I actually have a very high 2nd round grade on him. He's got all kinds of pass rush juice. I think he would be an absolute boon if they went that way. So like CJ West, if they were looking for a run stuffer. Also, JJ Pegues from Ole Miss. He's a little bit of both. Like if you're kind of looking for like a best of both worlds there. He also I think he scored 7 touchdowns this past year playing fullback and wildcat quarterback for Ole Miss.
Hey,
yeah. So he's got a lot of fun to him. And actually teams have requested he do the fullback drills at the combine. So we're going to be able to see him do that as well.
I'll take that on goal line stand. Let's try to push that.
Yeah. And Howard Cross from Notre Dame, also interior defensive guy. He will also be doing fullback drills, which I think is super interesting, especially with all of the Al Golden ties.
All right. Let's see. I got a couple questions here. M here. Tariq Williams in the second round is a steal.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that. I love Tyleik Williams. He's actually my DT3 right now. He's one of those players, like, he's a dominant run stuffer. And a lot of people are knocking him for not being a pass rusher. But whenever Ohio State deploys their pass rush, when they are truly getting after the quarterback, they're only rushing 3. They're rushing JTT, Jack Sawyer, and Ty Hamilton. They're crushing the edges, and they're pushing the pocket. And Tyleik Williams is always standing there taking on 2 people spying the quarterback. Yeah. Like, if they had just let him rush maybe once, I think we would have seen the juice that I think he's got. So I think Tyleik, and he's one of these dudes, like, he's just stronger than everybody. So watching him defend the run is just like watching a bar fight. Like, you're just watching the bouncer throw out a bunch of drunk dudes. Like, it is incredible to watch.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. You guys keep the comments coming here. You guys are doing great. All right.
And I will say another thing. Jordan Reed kind of echoed this the other day, so I felt really smart about it. But this class reminds me a lot of the 2019 draft class. Okay. And a lot of people forget that class had Ed Oliver, Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, Jeffrey Simmons. Then you had Jared Hines Allen. You had Brian Burns. Like, that class was an epic defensive line class, especially in the first round. And I think this class could be as good or better.
And we didn't draft any of those guys.
No, not one. We got Jonah Williams.
We got yes. Damn it, we got to do better.
Which a lot of people are like trying to do that with Will Campbell as well. So like saying he's unathletic, short arm, maybe probably a better guard. Sounds pretty familiar, huh?
Yeah. All right. So Ryan Sparks here. Landon Jackson ran a 9.88, or excuse me, Landon Jackson has a 9.88 RAS.
Yeah, he's a freak. The Bengals are gonna love him. The Bengals are gonna love everything about him. He looks like I forget his name, but one of the guys in Barry who's completely bald. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Yeah, he looks dead on like him.
Yeah, because he just did the first because Dustin Croft tagged Bengals and Brews on it.
Yeah, Bengals will love him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like very high in their second round kind of discussion.
All right. I think we asked this already, but I'll ask it again in case I didn't. Who do you want in the first round in a perfect world? Who would you take?
Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
Why? We're going to have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins on the outsides, and we're going to have Tyler Warren in the middle. Good luck trying to tackle Jamar Chase, Tyler Warren, and T. Higgins for 4 quarters. I dare any team to do it.
That would be – I mean, and the thing is, even if they did draft him, I'd still sign Gesicki. I'd still keep him. It would be, because they like to run the 2 tight end offense. Gesicki really isn't a tight end. He's, he's more of a receiver, but still, I mean, he was such a weapon this year. And because unfortunately with the injury to Eric All, which it kills me because I thought we finally had a tight end that could do everything, which I thought we did. We did have one that could do everything, and he tore his ACL. And unfortunately, that throws the Bengals back to the drawing board. And that's the thing. If he drops, I've been one of the Bengals to draft a tight end for a while, so I would be okay with that. But they got to really hit it in the second, third rounds. So that's the thing. And that if they did go offense in the first round, they got to go trenches the rest of it. But the more we talk, I'm really liking the idea of getting a guard in the first round and then getting there. So again, we talk about so much stuff here. I can't remember. Did you say who's your best guard you think would be at 17? Did we cover that already?
Tyler Booker
Okay,
is
Booker.
above and beyond. He's been my favorite offensive line prospect to watch this entire process. He's been my favorite over summer. He's my OG1. I think he's a plug and play, especially for the Bengals offense. Like, he's an incredible pass protector. Nobody's moving him. He's picking up every stunt. Like, he is the best pass protector probably in the entire class. I have nothing but good things to say about Tyler Booker. The only negative thing I have to say is maybe he's a little slow.
So how big is he? What's his size, weight, all that stuff?
6'4", 6'5", 350 is what he was listed at Alabama. Yeah, he's a big boy, and he's not, and you're not moving him.
No, that one. The thing is, in the Bengals offense, they've got to be good pass blockers.
Mm-hmm.
They got to end. Yeah. But the thing is, we also want to run block too. Which, is he good on that too as well?
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of explosion in his first couple of steps. You're not asking him to pull out into like screens and stuff like that too often, but he can definitely climb to the second level. He can definitely get around. I'm not too worried about his athleticism. It's just it's long speed. Maybe he's got heavier feet than you would like, but other than that, I'm not too worried about it.
Now, what's the chances, in your opinion, that he will be there at 17?
Pretty good because, like I said, he may not be the most athletic, and you're looking at probably 3 or 4 linemen going ahead of him. And a lot of teams are kind of scared to draft pure guards because Booker doesn't have the flexibility of the other prospects.
Yeah, but it just depends. If we sign 2 free agent guards, we're not drafting a guard in the first round.
Depends on the free agents.
Well, if they're plug and play starters, which I mean, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you bring in I think Patrick McCarry is gonna be a Bengal. I think they're just gonna throw a bag at him because of his versatility, his familiarity with. I think that's one starter. And then I wouldn't be, huh?
What about Zeitler?
Well, if you pick like a Zeitler or a Scherf or somebody like that, you can't depend on that person for 17 games.
True.
Because they're older. They're they've been through the thing. I think it wouldn't be a bad investment to still take, especially if you have the value of a Tyler Booker there. Like I would go ahead and pull that trigger regardless of who's on the roster.
Okay, you like him that much. So
I do.
All right, so let's talk a little. We brought free agency up here. So all right, he's your first, your number one free agent. You think the Bengals will get if they go get another guard out there besides Scherf or Zeitler? Who else would? Because you don't sound so high on it. Who do you think they might get, or who would you prefer them to go get on free agency?
Outside of McCarry, too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that's the list, to be honest with you. It's not a big list.
I haven't done it yet. Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into it.
I know Scherf, Zeitler, and a couple other guys.
Yeah, I saw Pat McCarry. I was like, Bengal.
Yeah. Well, I know the Chiefs are going to they're going to tag.
Yeah, that's another. Like, I don't think that, and like, everybody's saying Will Freese is going to get a bag, and I don't think the Bengals are going to spend a bag on a guy that was injured last year. Yeah. So
I mean, a bag, like you could get. I mean, I think they could get a pretty good guard for about $8 million. I think that, and that should get you a pretty damn good guard right there.
That's what I think McCarry will cost. I think that's
Yeah, because I mean, once they sign everybody, they're still going to have a lot of money left over to go get a free agent or two. Do you see them like? I know this is not draft talk, but geez, why can't I think of his freaking name now? I hate when I do this. Former Ohio State, he's a edge for the Chargers.
Chase Young.
No, not Chase Young.
No, Joey Bosa.
Bosa, yeah, they're talking about possibly cutting him, and now that might not be till June 1st or whatever. But where are you at? I would try to go get him. I know he's had injuries issues here, but it's Joey.
It depends on his number. Like if he's still asking for even if he's asking for half of what he's making now, that's still a lot of money.
He might not get that because of the injuries. So that's
and if that's kind of what you're banking on, and you hope he takes like a friendly deal and whatnot. I know he's friends with Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow will probably be like, "Hey, can you guys sign him?" And they would.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Ryan doesn't agree. He said hard pass unless it's cheap.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I agree with, but it seems like a Bengals move.
All right, let's see here. Get back to Ryan's comment up here talking about Booker. Booker is the best option. If we trade back in no world, I am taking him at 17 with the other guys likely available on the D line. So he wants to go D line, which I mean I think a lot of Bengals fans are like that, but again, to me it depends on what they're doing in free agency.
I'm just not as sold as taking a D line early because of the depth of this class. And I don't think the top of this class is like anything spectacular either. Like I think they're good, useful players, but I don't think they're like all around superstar world beaters. Like, right. So I'm not as like keyed in on they have to get defensive line. I think they just have to get a good football player.
Right.
But I would take Tyler Booker over a lot of the defensive linemen in this class because he's whooped their ass.
And I said, I'm not against it. I want trenches. If it's guard at 17, cool. I said, I got a man crush on JTT. It was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I know against Northwestern, but he freaking kicked their ass. We could not stop him.
It was the Penn State game 2 years ago in Happy Valley. He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
He had 2 touchdowns. Yeah,
like I know. Andrew Dawkins brought that up to me a couple weeks ago when I had him on the show. I'm like, I didn't see that game. I just Northwestern. He's like, what about that game? Like, I didn't see it. But
yeah,
hey,
that was the one where I was like, he's just a good football player. Yeah. He's going to do all of the things.
Yeah, I would be ecstatic if we got him in the second round.
6'4", 270, has the length the Bengals. He checks all of their boxes. If he's there at 49, he's him, Landon Jackson. I mean, you could go through a whole list of guys that are going to fit their mold.
I mean, I don't want to say, just for what you're talking about, how good this defensive line draft is, I don't want to say it's foolproof, but it sounds like it'd be kind of hard for them to screw this up, not to be able to get some impact players on the defensive line. I mean,
that's where, like, if that's where we're talking about, like, the skill players and stuff. Like, the trenches feel safe. The skill players do not feel safe. Right. But if they, like, value one of these skill players more than the trench player, like, I think that's where we're going to kind of have these issues. Like, hey, we see all of the value of these trenches. Like, why are you drafting a safety at 17?
Right.
Why are you drafting a running back at 49?
Why are you drafting a tight end at 17? Yeah,
right. Right.
Yeah, trust me, if the Bengals do it, who they nation will lose their damn mind. I know they will, and I will be like, it's okay. You just got to see what they do at 49 and the rest of the draft to see where they're at there. Let's see here. Jared, OSU is not going back to
They're not.
No.
No. They had a mass exodus.
Yeah.
They had the most they're going to take a year.
Yeah, they had the most expensive team in college football history now. They're not going to.
They blew their load.
Yeah.
They got what they wanted.
It worked. All right, so I want to just go to the quarterbacks here in this draft, and excuse me, I'm hoping
Tyler Shuck. Well, this is a Tyler Shuck podcast. Look at this. QB1. So
with the two Shador and Ward, I want them to get drafted high. So some of the other guys drop down to us, because the more the better that they do. In my opinion, these skill position players, if they get drafted higher in the first round, that's more for the defensive guys for us to draft. Where do you think that one of these guys will go number one? Because I kind of don't. I keep going back to Travis Hunter. That's the guy I draft.
I think that if there's a trade, I don't know how willing Tennessee is to move out of that number one spot, especially with, like, we've been talking about, like, the lack of talent at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, grabbing a Travis Hunter would be super intelligent. I think Cam Ward has it. I
lean more toward him.
Yeah. I wouldn't be like, I think he's a top 3 player in this class. I watched enough Miami because one of my favorite Bengals fits, Jalen Rivers, their left tackle. I watched 5 games of him. And I came away super impressed with Ward. He's got incredible pocket movement. He's got an absolute hose attached to his right shoulder. Like, he has all of the things. And it was really frustrating because I'm also a Louisville fan, and I was watching the Louisville Miami like coaches film, and like he's just slipping and sliding out of all of these sacks and stuff. I think Cam Ward, I hope he's a New York Giant, because as somebody who has Malik Neighbors on their shadow team, like he needs a quarterback. Like, please, right? Or please send Cam Ward to New York.
All right, Ryan here says, in his opinion, Giants are going Ward, Browns are going Sanders, Carter is going to the Titans. I could see
the Browns. Oh God,
I could see Deion saying to the Browns. He's like, my son ain't going there.
Wouldn't. I'd just like get out of there.
So what is your thoughts on Shedeur? Because I don't know. I go back and forth on him. I mean, I think he's good. I don't know if he's going to be great. He could prove to be completely wrong. I don't know.
He reminds me of I know a lot of people have called him Teddy Bridgewater. I see a bit of that. Teddy was, I feel like, one of a kind with his calmness and stuff. Shedeur's got more. He's like more swaggy Teddy.
Yeah.
Teddy was a first round pick.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that. And I think Shedeur's, he's got like an Andy Dalton arm, but he's got a better processor than that. So I wouldn't be. Andy with Dalton was a second pick. I think the right team is just going to pick Shedeur. Like somebody's going to be like, this is how he fits in our offense, and we have a plan for him. I think the Raiders are probably the most likely for Shedeur. Yeah. I think that would be a really good fit with Chip Kelly. So I think Shedeur will only be as good as his environment.
Yeah. Now, how do you think the first, say, 10 picks are going to go? Is it going to be, which I don't want it to be defensive line heavy because I want as many of them for us to pick as we can get. What's your feeling here with the draft? How the first, it's going to be more skill guys, offensive guys, and maybe offensive linemen, or how do you think that's going to go? Will we have a plethora, like some of the really good ones, defensive linemen, are they going to drop to us?
I think we're just going to see a bunch of weird stuff, to be honest with you. I think this draft, more than any that I've ever seen, has more variance with some of like the top players. So these teams picking at the top of the draft, a lot of them have new GMs and stuff also. Right. So like the Titans have a new GM, the Jags have a new GM. Like we're gonna see some of these guys call their shot, and I think it's gonna be interesting to watch because you have talented, like we've been talking about, you have talented guys like Tyler Warren and Ashton Genty, and like all like Travis Hunter is a two-way player. I had somebody brought it up the other day. It was like, what if you start him at wide receiver and cornerback and he gets hurt and you lose the starter at two positions? Like, it's those kind of questions have to weigh on these GMs. So it's going to be, I think the top 15 picks are just going to be a lot of things people can't predict.
Yeah, it's the draft, and you never know what's going to happen. These quarterbacks, somebody's going to fall in love with them. I just have a feeling somebody's going to fall in love, and they're going to trade. I mean, not long ago, the Sucky Niners went traded up for the kid out of North Dakota State.
Yeah. And
they ended up drafting Brock Purdy with the last pick, and he's the quarterback now. So, I mean,
right.
And the Jets went and traded up for the kid from BYU. I can't remember his name now. That's
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, yeah. So, I mean, and none of those guys I thought were like worth doing that, to be honest, so somebody's going to fall in love with them. It just happens every year.
Well, I don't even know about that. Like, I think that's part of the thing. Like, I don't feel like teams are as desperate for quarterbacks now because
Tennessee's got to get a damn quarterback.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think that they're much more comfortable their new GM has talked about getting generational players and stuff. Like, I think he's much more okay with taking like a vet on a deal and just kind of playing out the roster and trying to figure out where they're picking number one. Like they have work to do.
Yeah.
So, and I think the best route for them would be to get a vet.
You don't think they're going to stick with Mayonnaise Boy?
No. No. That dude is a meme. Like you can't have a meme as a quarterback.
Oh my goodness. And it's funny, I just call him Manny's boy and everybody knows who I'm talking about. Like
I think they'd be better off playing in like the Tyler Shuck, Dylan Gabriel. Like I think a lot of these top end teams would be much better picking these mid round guys that have plenty of starts and stuff, but have questions.
True. And the thing is, there are veteran quarterbacks that are available. I mean, you got two of the best ones. I mean, say what you want about Aaron Rodgers, he's still a pretty damn good quarterback. And then Matthew Stafford, they're talking about trading him. So those are your top two guys.
Sam Darnold is on the block, and you know, like the Vikings will probably trade Daniel Jones if somebody gets super desperate. Like there's options.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, they were both on 1-year deals. Like so, there's options that don't involve there's options with NFL experience that you don't have to waste a first round pick on.
I kind of brought this up last year, and then it didn't come up. But Augie's like, "Damn right, give us a second or third for Browning." I thought that if they were going to do that, it would have been last year because he played. I don't see that happening. What's your thoughts?
His contract is what is the most interesting thing about Jake Browning, because right now I think he's still technically a restricted free agent. So the Bengals have control of his contract, and he's only making like $2 million or something like that. Yeah. They're not going to get rid of him. They know he can step in for Joe Burrow. They know he can play well, and he's under team control. They're not going to get rid of Jake Browning. They probably won't re-sign him next year because somebody will pay him to be a solid backup, and the Bengals won't. So
right, exactly. So with Joe Burrow. As I say, I got to knock on wood. Should have a healthy offseason. What's your opinion on how that will impact the start of the season? I do think him, and I said we got to get through training camp and all because he hurt his calf in training camp. So I'm not saying he's going to have a healthy. We'll see. But if he can get through training camp and everything and be healthy, what kind of impact, in your opinion, will that have to the Bengals get off to a better start? Because Bengals captain has brought that up on the show multiple times that he thinks if Joe can have a fully healthy offseason and a training camp, all that stuff, that would help the Bengals get off to a better start without changing anything.
I don't know, because Zach Taylor said they were changing their training camp. He said it during the combine. Yeah, and Joe Burrow had a pretty healthy training camp. I know there was a lot of hubbub about his wrist and whatnot, but he got all the reps in, and we saw that play out through the season. The slow start wasn't I don't know. I think that's just a Joe thing. I think that he needs to ease into stuff. I'm more for him playing during the preseason because I feel like he needs to get into a rhythm.
And that's what that. Yeah, he said he needs the reps, and I agree with him. Because he doesn't really get going, it seems, until the end of October, beginning of November. I mean, really.
He's not going until all of his pieces are going. I feel like he needs to get everybody in the same rhythm as him. Yeah. And I think that's really where and I think that they do need a half, an accumulative half during the preseason.
Not a whole entire half, but just throughout
a drive here, a couple drives here, a whole quarter here. Just let him get it all out of his system.
Right, exactly. And to me, a lot of the slow start last year was the contract issue with Jamar.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because Jamar had a hell of a year. He didn't really get going until about the third week of the season. That's when he started getting going. It took him a while to get going. So, they sound like they want to get him signed. Hopefully, they get him signed before the draft, before all this stuff. Hopefully, get T signed before they even have to tag him and just get this out of the damn way. Would be awesome, so we don't have to worry about this stuff going into the season. That would help too. But Jared, this has been awesome. You're getting me more excited about the draft and that the Bengals can draft impact guys, even if they only have 6 picks. I mean, it really sounds like there's enough guys there that they can get it right.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is because of what they've done in past drafts. I think they could just use some supplemental pieces here, and I think this draft has plenty of them.
Exactly. All right, Jared. Tell everybody where they can follow you at or anything you want to plug before I let you go.
Yeah, just follow me at Draft Guy Jared on X. I post a bunch of Twitter thread breakdowns. I'm part of the Locked On's draft data sheet. Like they take my film grades into into account. So that's pretty cool. I know that's dropping pretty soon. But yeah, I break down prospects and post threads on them all the time, and I have a big spreadsheet that you can access on my profile that has every thread I've done for this class so far.
Awesome, dude. I will try to do this again maybe next week if you got time too.
Yeah.
After the combine, and we can.
Oh, that'd be fun.
We talk about who made an impact. One real quick. Do you have a sleeper out there that nobody's talking about that might show out this weekend? You got a name to throw out there that we might want to keep an eye on?
Well, Elijah Simmons, he's a defensive tackle from Tennessee. I thought he's been pretty good, but I don't think he ran a 40 very well. So, let's see. Let me go through my notes here real quick.
I was gonna get you out here, and I'm like, I want to.
Yes, I watched him the other day, and he's testing extremely well right now. His name is Jared Harrison Hunt from SMU. He's an interior defensive lineman, 6'3", 290, 33-inch arms. He is starting to blow up. I think he's a really good run defender. He's got some pass rush juice. I think he's going to be available on day 3 because of his weight and playing for SMU. I really like Jared Harrison Hunt. He's my new favorite right now.
Awesome. We'll have to keep it. I wrote all these names down so I could.
There you go.
Because I know I won't remember them all. So, hey, hopefully you can join me on my draft coverage. We do that at MOTs. If not, I know you're going to be at Project Game Day there at the Fulling Warehouse. So just guys follow Jared. He does an awesome job. He, like I said, makes me sound smart, which I'm not smart. But, Anyway, Jared, appreciate you, brother.
Anytime, man. Thank you.
Yep, see it. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Jared is awesome. Like I said, he does a great job. Follow him on Twitter. Check out all his draft stuff. I check out as much as I can because I don't know a whole lot about this, and I don't have time to do all the stuff that these guys do. Dale does a great job. He does a great job. And then you got the Raz. You got Gridiron Grading. I'm going to have them on next week. So next week, it might be a lot of the same guests, but we'll be talking about what happened in the combine and how that affected who rose, who fell, all that stuff. Because this is where this week guys make or break themselves sometimes. I mean, which with Nolan not testing, that's almost a red flag to me. I don't like that because if you're a top 5 pick, you might not test. He's a low first round pick. You probably should test. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I want to get the hell out of here so I can watch the combine because I love it. But I want to give a shout out to a couple people here. First of all, thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on ZTV, YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. You can follow me on all those along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You guys are doing awesome. Killing it here with the views. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about it. And shout out to the sponsors of the show, Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Give them a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. If you want your grass cut, your flower beds cleaned out, mulched, if you want to put some rock in the flower beds, paper patio, retaining wall, anything like that, or you just got a project that you need some ideas for, give Priority Lawn and Landscaping a call at 513-430-6114. Also, shout out to T Properties. If you guys are in the market for a rental property, a house, a condo, apartment, or you got a property you just don't want to manage anymore, give T Properties a shout. Check them out at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And the West Side peeps, go check out Hail Marys. Your ticket to the game right in the heart of Cheviot. It's an awesome bar. Biggest TV screen, beer specials, food trucks, free parking right there in the heart of Cheviot. It's Hail Marys, your ticket to the game. And shout out to Meyer Windows and Doors. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, easy to clean, great looking windows. You can check out the website at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. And again, like I said, I'll be doing the draft party at MOT's, Mount Lookout Tavern, first night of the draft. Hopefully I get draft guy Jared to show up there. I think Joe might be there with me. We'll be covering like I said, not the first round because I might be only on for an hour, but we'll be hanging out until the Bengals pick. So we'll be doing some Bengals trivia. We'll have some prizes there. It's going to be a fun time. Again, it's MLT's Mountain Lookout Tavern. It's right. Ted Karras might show up. Who knows? I doubt it, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. And that's it. Throw it up. That's your sports, baby. Who Dey for life. See ya!
Weekend nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ices on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how.